Force is collaborating with men of the Nigerian Police Force to enforce the order. Joy Piles has details as presented from our studios.
In a bid to monitor and ensure compliance with the ban on roadside trading by the Ondo State government, the State Special Task Force led by the Senior Special Assistant to Governor Ubulu on Special Duties and Strategy, Dr. Donyodebowale, and the men of the Nigerian Police Force, led by Area Commander Akure Otabo Festus, stormed Erekeson and Obadeshida markets to carry out enforcement. The team went around the markets warning traders against trading on road corridors and walkways, saying such attitude would no longer be tolerated. At the various markets, traders who initially flouted the directive were seen clearing their goods as the team compelled the traders to adhere to the laid down directives. The Senior Special Assistant to Governor Ubulu on Special Duties and Strategy, Dr. Donyodebowale, frowned at the display of wares by traders taking over almost half of the road, noted that the collaboration with men of the Nigerian Police Force was to ensure total compliance with the directive in order to restore sanity to the roads, thereby reducing gridlocks on the road.
You can imagine a scenario where all the feeder roads are blocked. It has been like this for quite some time. Nobody can move. You see the level of debris on the road. You see what they do. You even find people who are constructing their whatever site, parking granite and sharp sands on the road.
Odebowale added that traders must join hands with government to ensure compliance to the directive, as there will be consequences for flouting government order.
It is going to be a continuous exercise. We are going to continue because we cannot just allow it. It is not good. It's not good. Bus stops have been converted into where they sell akara, where they sell shoes. Drugs. Pedestrians are not able to use this sidewalk constructed for the purpose. So that is why you have seen us, and it's going to continue. We won't allow anybody parking indiscriminately on the road. We won't allow them. We have instructed the police to arrest anybody who tries to disturb, the people of the state.
Beyond government enforcement, it is hoped that residents of Akure will own the vision of giving the state capital a cosmopolitan status, as the overall benefits will accrue to the public.
The Ondo State government has called on individuals, old students, associations and groups to assist in addressing the infrastructure gap in the state's public primary and secondary schools. Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Femi Agago, made the appeal while overseeing the resumption of schools for the third term of the 2021-2022 academic session. Richard Elesomo reports that the commissioner, who expressed satisfaction with the turnout of students for resumption, particularly in the cities, urged parents in the remote areas to always ensure early resumption of their wards.
The Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Mr. Femi Agago, led Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Mrs. Lola Muda, and other officials to schools as they resumed for the continuation of the 2021-2022 academic session. The team visited some schools in Akwomu and ended the exercise with an inspection of some schools here in Akure, the state capital, including CSC Secondary School, St. Thomas's Secondary School, among others. Here at St. Francis in Gaga, Commissioner and his team were shown around the school where students were already receiving lectures in preparation for their principal's test. The Commissioner, who expressed satisfaction with the turnout, said government remains committed to ensuring that things are done properly.
We started on very well in the morning in the Baptist High School. As early as 8:30 that we got there, everything was set. There are quite a number of places where the number of students that have resumed are not very substantial. You can see here too that the students have settled down. At least you can see that the teachers are ready to work. And in most schools in the city here, attendance is encouraging.
Speaking on the state of infrastructure, Agago said the government will continue to do its best to provide conducive environment for teaching and learning, but appealed to individuals and groups to support the government in this task.
We are also concerned about the state of the infrastructure The government will continue to try. We are also encouraging parents to support, encouraging all students to also give back to their alma mater. If all of us, all the stakeholders work together, I'm sure things will get better.
It is hoped that concerted efforts will further help in the development of Ondo State education sector. Richard Lesomi, Osrc News.
Meanwhile, over 1,000 pupils in Ondo State have taken part in the 2022 Common Entrance Examination into the 110 federal government colleges across the country. However, parents who brought their children for the examination complained about the lack of conducive place for them to sit while the examination lasted. Osrc's Richard Lesomi again reports that the exercise took place at designated centers across the state.
These boys and girls are pupils from different elementary schools across the state competing for admission to the federal government unity schools. The National Common Entrance Examination conducted by the National Examinations Council was held simultaneously at all designated centers across the state. Here in Akure, the Ondo State capital, Akure visited St. Peter's Unity Secondary School, Mekun and others, where the exam went without hitch. Our camera lens caught up with officials of the State Ministry of Education led by the Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Lola Muda, were out to oversee the exercise.
In Akure here we have about 5 centers which we have visited all, and the conduct has been so peaceful and orderly. About 1,287 candidates registered for the exams.
On the other hand, parents complained they were being locked out of schools and exposed to the scorching sun. Some of them who spoke with Osrc said the examination body should have made provision for a suitable place to sit while the assessment lasted.
It's very, very bad. The experience here is frustrating. We have been here since before 7 o'clock. We are not allowed inside the sun. This scorching sun is not done. It's not encouraging. They should have allowed us to stay inside, under the tree or in the classes there. There are chances, there are classes there. But now just we are here. It's frustrating. Very bad.
I encourage them that maybe they should just put the parents maybe in 1 or 2 classes. At least we are adults. We cannot, maybe it's because of disturbance. So we are adults, we cannot disturb them. So they should provide a space, a classroom or 2 for us to stay.
You look around, you see that many of them are not with their car. They came around and they are inside the sun. At least by the time they will be doing neatness, they should consider parents and have a space for them to stay. So that at least when they are away, those children cannot take care of themselves and they cannot bring themselves to school. So it's parents that will still do that. So they should put them in consideration when they are doing the next exam.
Results of the examination are expected as successful candidates are hopeful of making their way to the federal government colleges for their secondary school journey. Richard Lesomi, Osrc News.
Ondo State Head of Service, Adeniro Adeyemo, has been honored as Man of the Year in recognition of his performance as Civil Service Administrator. The event, which had its theme as the life of an administrator, took place in Akure, the Ondo State capital. Osrc's Oladoyin Ayegbusi reports that the Head of Service dedicated the awards to civil servants in the state.
Pastor Adeniro Adeyemo was appointed the head of service last year, and since then, several reforms had taken place to reposition the sector. The efforts of the head of service have not gone unnoticed as he worked tall, where he was recognized as Man of the Year. The event had in attendance an array of dignitaries, including the state governor, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, to share the joy of a #1 civil servant. The governor, who was represented by the Secretary to State Government, Princess Oladunni Odu, described Adeyemo as a man who is dedicated and committed to the work he is doing.
A man who believes in fairness and equanimity. A man who is committed. A man who is dedicated. A man who loves the job he's doing with passion. A man who navigates the civil the slippery terrain of the civil service with everything good in him.
The award recipient, Mr. Adeniran Adeyemo, expressed delight for the honor and appreciated the Governor of Ondo State, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, SAN, for the opportunity given to him to serve in such office.
This award I dedicate it to public servants of Ondo State. I want to appreciate the public servants of Ondo State. They have actually performed creatively well. We pride ourselves that we always cooperate with the government in power. There has never been much infraction as far as political class is concerned. This present government, I want to appreciate our government. One is not surprised. He has served in other areas, distinguishing himself.
He advised civil servants to be diligent in their duties and expect God's reward. Oladoyin Ayegbusi, Osrc News.
After 22 years on the throne, the Adakpogun of Igbo, Oba of Igbo, says he is not slowing down just yet in the task of administering his kingdom and positioning it for more development. Oba of Igbo said this at his 22nd coronation anniversary and birthday celebration, which attracted dignitaries from far and near, including religious leaders and traditional rulers to the community. Osrc's Zaid Aribisala, who witnessed the celebration, reports that Oba of Igbo sought more government presence in his domain.
Strategically placed, surrounded by mountains and rivers, Ikpogun, an agrarian community in a federal local government area of Ondo State, has been under the rulership of Oba Raphael Ojo for over 20 years. To celebrate the monarch, the community rolled out drums for the 22nd coronation anniversary and birthday of Oba Ojo. The monarch chose St. Jude's Anglican Church as the first spot of his celebration to give thanks to God for the over 2 decades journey on the throne. Delivering the sermon, a son of the soil and Bishop Remo Anglican Diocese, Most Reverend Olushino Fakwe, enjoined Oba Raphael Ojo and other traditional rulers to draw closer to God.
In his own time, sons and daughters of Ikpogun will continue to climb higher and higher.
The sermon was followed with prayers and special birthday song rendition for the monarch. Traditional rulers and religious leaders from within and outside the local government area, including the Archbishop of Ondo, Anglican Diocese Simeon Borokini, joined to felicitate with the monarch and people of Ikpogun.
He comes as a Oba for this town. He make the peace to reign in this town. So we thank God that God chose him as Oba for us in this town.
Kabiyesi has been a peaceful man, loving Kabiyesi, and he commands a lot of respect.
At a reception for guests and well-wishers, members of the community extolled the traditional ruler for influencing development and peace in the town.
The Oba is very rare too. You can see most of us are here to grace this occasion. And I think it's somebody that is quite very cooperative. And it's somebody that that moves around and, you know, get together with all the Obas.
Many Ikpogun sons and daughters are making progress here and there. So we thank God for the massive achievement.
Since he has been on the throne, he's performing his best. And the community is developing rapidly.
Oba Raphael Ojo thanked all for the support he has enjoyed since he became a monarch.
The journey so far was mixed up. At times of joy, at times of sober. As life is full of ups and downs, so do I experience all this. But I thank God to every hardship God sailed me over.
Oba Ojo, who transitioned from a school administrator to become the Adakpogun of Igbo, advocated constitutional roles for monarch to further help their task. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
All communities in Igbo land in a larger local government area of those states say they will henceforth speak with one voice on socio-economic issues that affect them as a people. This was the agreement reached at an epoch-making ceremony which featured the tripartite inauguration of Igbo Land Development Congress, Igbo Land Council of Obas and Igbo Land Council of Chiefs. Osrc's Zaid Aribisala, who witnessed the event, reports that the Igbo Land Development Congress is tasked with creating a development blueprint to facilitate economic opportunities for Igbo land.
For many years, oil-rich communities in Igbo land in a larger local government area of Ondo State have been plagued with underdevelopment and internal crises which have affected the economic prosperity of the area. All of that is set to change with this ceremony of the inauguration of Igbo Land Development Congress, made up of eminent sons and daughters committed to advancing the cause of the area. The chairman, Igbo Land Development Congress UDC Inauguration Committee, Chief Olushola, said efforts to harness the potential of the area, develop a blueprint for economic prosperity, gave rise to the formation of the group.
We have 4 kings within the area, traditional rulers. At a time, because of competition for the very meager available resources, there had been clashes here and there. Religious communities are not speaking with one voice, and so the center was no longer holding. That was what led to the conception of the idea of a body that will speak for these people, a body that will bring everybody together, a body that will articulate the dream and the vision of this core oil producing area of the state.
The UDC convener, Mr. Benson Obayelu, and the chairman, UDC Board of Trustees, who is a former clerk of the National Assembly, Oluyemi Ogunyomi, said Igbo land will henceforth speak as one and demand for accountability from their representatives.
Today we have an organization like this that can take up any matter that has to do with development of Igbo. Peace in Igbo land.
We shall henceforth speak with one voice.
Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, who was represented at the event by his deputy, Lucky Ayedatiwa, commended the initiative, noting that such will collaborate government's effort in addressing challenges in community development.
No doubt the pride of Ondo State, not only because of some of the progress and achievements of the state made from this land. Communities that will learn that are so richly blessed cannot afford not to come together to achieve meaningful development.
Also inaugurated was the Igbo Land Council of Chiefs and Traditional Rulers. The Olugbo Oba Frederick Akinrutan described the day as one of his happiest and a new dawn for his people.
When they started this matter, I was thinking that they were deceiving me. I never took them serious. I was looking at them that this is a child play. A lot of people who are trying to finish this matter, they cannot do it.
While plans have begun for the actualization of an annual Igbo Day festival, the rejuvenation of unity of purpose among these people is said to herald a greater and prosperous Igbo land. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
Believers have been charged to depend solely on God in order to attract divine satisfaction. The charge was given at the 5th anniversary of the United Apostolic Church of Christ, Mount of Mercy, Ilula District Headquarters, Akure. Joy Pius reports that the church, in conjunction with the Sure Mercies Ministries, Texas, USA, rendered assistance to widows in the church as part of activities marking the 5th anniversary.
The United Apostolic Church of Christ, Mount of Mercy, Ilula District Headquarters, Akure, had earlier collaborated with the Sure Mercy Ministries, Texas, USA, under the leadership of Reverend Toyin Ayola, to assist widows in the church. Reverend Ayola helped on the unending blessings attached to giving to the needy.
One of the instructions of God is that we must not neglect the needy. And one of them is the widows and the widowers. And it's a great privilege to be a blessing to them.
The church was filled to capacity as congregants rejoiced in appreciation of God's faithfulness as the choir gave special renditions to mark the 5th anniversary of the church. The guest minister, who is the worldwide president of the church, Reverend Bayo Owoyemi, charged believers on depending on God, who is the expressway to divine satisfaction.
Well, people should have this knowledge that satisfaction comes from God. Power belongs to God. If we are satisfied and we have this divine satisfaction, we will know that wherever you are, wherever you be, and whatever office you get to in life, you know that is God.
General evangelists of the church, prophets Gabriel Alo, and members expressed gratitude for God's preservation while calling on Christians to be steadfast in their service to God.
I'm very happy because the Lord has done a great thing in my life. I never expected it this way, but it is well known to God, and I give all glory back to God because He has done it well for me.
I want to admonish all the Christians in the world that they should hold on to God.
Very happy because the anniversary went smoothly.
I feel so great, I feel so happy, and I give all glory to God.
The anniversary started with a revival and ended with a special Thanksgiving service.
And now to sport. Sunshine Stars Football Club of Akure have dropped to the 10th position in the Nigeria Professional Football League (NPFL) following a 0-1 loss to Gombe United. The 18th minute goal drill protest from Sunshine Stars players and officials who complained of an attack on their goalkeeper. Fans of Gombe United held Sunshine Stars players hostage, but security agents brought the situation under control 1 hour later. Meanwhile, Rivers United have extended their NPFL lead to 7 points following a 5-0 win over MFM in Port Harcourt, and Plateau United lost at Nasarawa United. And that's it on Sunshine Report. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon.